everyone. Mitch coming in for the Commander's Corps studio. Welcome to the show. Okay, so, spoiler season is just around the corner for Tarkir Dragonstorm, but, this just keeps happening. I'm not sure how, but we've got even more leaks, but leaks from well into the future. And with a future set in the future, I think. I don't know. Edge of Eternities, we've got some leaks on the Precons. Let's jump into them. First up, starting off with, well, the image that we've got for the Precon box of World Shaper, apparently. Again, I will say that I don't believe I've seen that these have been confirmed. So therefore they are leaks, meaning that they could be faked, but this would take an awful lot of effort to fake this. And you know what? I think these are most likely real. Let me know in the comments below if you've gotten any information on things being confirmed or not. Regardless, I'm going to be assuming that this is, about 99.9% real. So yeah, let's do a breakdown of this, talk about the potential of this and the other Precon that was leaked as well. And of course, do some speculation because I absolutely love making some guesses. And sometimes I am very close to being right, just eerily close sometimes, and also other times really far off. Anyways, World Shaper is apparently going to be a Jund Precon. Sacrifice lands, grow back stronger. Yeah, when it comes to them doing like the two Precons, and I think that's all we're getting from, that's, they should be cutting down the number of Precons, according to a lot of people who voted recently on that. If you saw that episode, make sure you check it out, or haven't seen it. That being said, yeah, two Precons, typically they like to do like, okay, 3 colors, so we can cover all of our bases of all the colors, and 1 color kind of gets, both of them. All right, sacrifice lands, grow back stronger. Interesting. So again, very Jund, we are sacrificing things, but we're getting value out of that. There is this kind of like, we will outlast you kind of approach to Jund. That is basically kind of what we are getting. And kind of with that, well, on the box image, looks like we have like some kind of a futuristic insect humanoid figure in armor that's in space or somewhat. It has a, I don't even know, like a staff of some sort that is magic. And then in the background looks like some kind of a cocoon, maybe? I don't know. So kind of like StarCrafty-ish, I guess? I don't know. Again, futuristic magic can get kind of weird, I guess, but let's jump into my thoughts on what we might get out of a commander, and the commander that I want to see us get. I think it'd be pretty exciting. Let me know your thoughts on this. Here we go. Zygrith, World Root Larva. Okay, so first of all, again, a giant thank you to mtg.design. You are an amazing website. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. You can make your own custom cards. It's awesome, and there's a lot of amazing custom card communities out there. 0/3 insect with Defender for a single mana. Tap and put a land card from your hand on the battlefield by paying Jund colors. Sacrifice 7 lands, transform it. Notice where I put the colon there because I believe, and let me know in the comments below, but yeah, typically you'd be like, okay, yeah, pay, and then put the colon after the sacrifice the lands, but if someone interrupts that, you're just like, okay, I'm down 7 lands and I get nothing out of it, so yeah, let's adjust it to make sure. I think I put the first one out there with the, sacrificing the other way. I don't want a big giant blowout. That being said, on the front side of the card, obviously, not much of an attacker here. In fact, you really can't attack with it. What you're going to be doing with this, though, of course, is just getting it out basically always on turn 1. Again, it costing a generic mana, let you use anything. You get it out, and then it's kind of like, Walking Atlas-ish. There's other creatures that do that too, but yeah, a lot of other ones that are in green that are low to the ground. Being able to just tap to get a land from your hand on the battlefield, that's nice. It is a form of ramp, though obviously you do need the lands in hand to do so. There are, of course, ways to get lands in hand as well. Once you get to 7, which, of course, doesn't necessarily take all that much time, again, when you've got a commander that can help you ramp as long as you can get the lands in your hand to do so, and you might adjust the amount of lands in your deck, essentially, to accommodate that, because the payoff can be quite large, because this is going to transform into Zygrith, World Root Eternal. A big insect fly thing with armor. Cool. 7/7 insect with Flample, of course. When it transforms into Zygrith, World Root Eternal, return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So, again, kind of that World Shaper-ish kind of effect, which obviously goes with the name of the actual, box itself, too. Anyways, landfall, because who doesn't love landfall? Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1 green insect creature token with flying. Yeah, so basically, sacrifice probably all your lands, and then, you know what, this transforms, and all those lands come back into play, and then this commander says, oh, cool lands, okay, cool insects, also, I'm massive now, and I can attack. Good for me, I don't have Defender anymore. So again, kind of like that larva turns into cocoon and just kind of, oh, okay, took all this energy, becomes this giant, massive threat that also makes a giant army for you. And of course, by utilizing landfall, by getting lands out in other ways, of course, evolving wilds type stuff as well, on top of all the ramp that you're going to be having, you are in green. Yeah, of course, you can use interviews that make a massive army of flying insect creature tokens. Typically, flying insect creature tokens do a death touch. I did not add that. I don't think that's needed on this as well. Already quite powerful, and of course could happen quite early. Again, depending on your hand situation, depending on how many lands you get to play quickly, with your commander helping out it as well. Yeah, like turn 4, turn 5, flip this over essentially and have a 7/7 flampling commander with, 7 flying insects potentially as well. Yeah, that can be quite nasty. I think that could be quite fun. Again, with a Jund style approach of having I'm going to outlast you. You could also have some maybe aristocrat style benefits. Okay, I'm sacrificing things, I get benefits from sacrificing them. You could also have, some, I guess, obviously doubling season is always something to consider when you're okay, I'm making tokens. Yeah, double that up, those kinds of things as well. Parallel lives. And of course, ways to use and abuse landfall triggers as well. Yeah, your bounce land type things too. So, yeah, this is the design that I have. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I think that I like the low-to-the-ground commanders because there's only so many of them out there, essentially. And then having, a benefit for actually utilizing the front side of the commander, but also something that you're working towards and actually kind of having a big, explosive payoff for it. And I think this could be a pretty cool explosive payoff for it as well. Yeah, of course, actually, a way to kind of use and abuse this as well could be that you use some feigned death effects. So, let's say you maybe, again, have, those ways to sacrifice. So you've got, the Sarasir type cards as well, because you got some benefits for that. Or just, a Village Rites sacrifice draw 2. You could do that. Feigned death type effect, when this creature dies, comes back into play tapped. Cool, from the graveyard. Then all of a sudden it flips back over to the front side. You're ready to go, essentially, to sacrifice those lands again to actually, transform it. If you lost all your insects, you can keep bringing them back. Now, obviously, those lands would come into play tapped, so you can't just keep doing that infinitely or whatever. If you had that outlet, that'd be quite funny. And probably a mana, a mana sink, Phyrexian altar essentially kind of thing could get you there. But yeah, no, we're going to have the lands go to play tapped. I guess if you've got, oh gosh, what's the 1 mana thing that has your things going to play untapped? That thing could do it, obviously. That being said, yeah, kind of like a go big, go wide approach with a commander. Again, it's already a 3-shot KO right here as a 7/7 Flampler. Of course, you're in red. Could very easily become a 2-shot or even a 1-shot KO with double strike type effects. So that's kind of my thought process. But let me know your thoughts on this one and how realistic you think this is, as this is our insect overlord type thing. We'll see. Next up, apparently also in the future of Magic, not only, insect, giant things, but apparently also robots. There you go. So yeah, StarCraft. Counterintelligence is the other leaked image that we got. Again, not officially confirmed, but it seems to be pretty legitimate to me. That being said, this is Jeskai, so again, all of the colors are, covered in these 2 precons. Red is the one that is the crossover color. Counterintelligence is going to be about boosting artifacts and proliferating with counters, or proliferate counters, I should say. Yeah, they got a picture of an artifact, I don't even know, it's like a construct of some sort on the cover of this, so there you go. It's probably what we're getting as a commander. So when it comes to this, I don't think counterintelligence means counterspells. It probably just means counters. I'm not going to be leaning into I don't think they'd be building a precon where they're okay, all right, here's the commander. It's like Baral. It benefits you under your counting things, and we've got 30 counterspells in it, and everyone's really going to enjoy this. The players playing it might, but the opponents will not. So yeah, I do think that this is probably more so, again, just proliferating counters is probably what it is. Obviously, the name could go either way, but with the description down there, I think that's going to be it. And boosting artifacts, I do have a very specific thing, and a mechanic that you don't often see that I would like to see brought back. Here we go. We've got Veltrix Cognosphere Prime. What a name! 0/0, so it just dies when it comes into play. Just kidding. Ledger Artifact Creature Construct for 3 mana in Jeskai, of course. Artifact creatures you control have modular 1. There you go. So this does not die because it's got modular 1. And so do your other artifact creatures too. They enter with an additional counter on them. When they die, you may put their counters on target artifact creatures. So share the wealth, essentially. If you get taken out, here you go. Use my parts, my scrap parts, and get larger. That's kind of like the concept of modular, right? So this starts off with 1 counter on it. How do we get it bigger, though? Well, yeah, I mean, with all of our, creatures, essentially, whenever you cast an artifact spell, proliferate. So the more artifacts we play, the more proliferation, the more counters we get on things. And again, all of our artifact creatures, no matter what they are, start off at a base level with 1+1/+1 counter on them, so you can just benefit from that proliferation, no matter what you're benefiting from. And of course, obviously, we do have other things that might have some proliferate counters on them, or things can proliferate, like, Everflowing Chalice, Astral Cornucopia type cards that have charge counters, etc., etc., etc. On top of that, of course, at the beginning of your end set, move any number of counters from permanents you control onto target permanent. So, kind of like a Forgotten Ancient-ish kind of thing. I mean, Forgotten Ancient is like moving it from itself onto other things too. This is like the reverse, where it's like you take all of the counters that you want to from all of your permanents, or any number of permanents, and moving them onto one single permanent. So, obviously, I mean, you could go like Voltron-y with this if you go like wide. I'm making a bunch of servos, bunch of Thopters, because again, even your artifact creatures that are tokens get those modular counters on them, and you can proliferate them too. So you can make this hit really hard if you want to. Obviously, it has absolutely no evasion, so you need to find ways to actually get it through, etc., etc. You could do that, or just put all the counters on something else that is evasive potentially. Or, of course, again, like, if you have multiple things making charge counters, right, and you're proliferating those, you're like, oh, okay, cool, I've got, like, 10 charge counters in play. I'll just move all those from, all my permanents onto Astral Cornucopia, and now that can tap for 10. My goodness, awesome. So, yeah, you can kind of, like, mix and match, play with different kinds of counters. I guess, like, Magistrate Scepter, is that the one that's, like, you put charge counters on it, and then, like, you can tap to remove 3 counters from it to take an extra turn. So obviously there could be some combos with this that could be quite powerful, but I do think it's a pretty interesting concept. I do like I like bringing back modular. I think it's something that like doesn't get enough love, and when it's done the right way, I think it's a very good type effect, essentially, again, because yeah, again, having a base level of all your creatures coming to play, they counter on them, obviously lends well towards proliferation, and having that the commander that also gives proliferation can be quite nice. But of course, on top of that, if they die, so if you've got like maybe some sacrifice effects, you can like hypercharge where those counters are going at a certain point. But obviously, if you can wait to the end step, you can just move those counters around as you will. So essentially, whether your creatures are dying or whether you're moving them, those counters are staying with you unless there's like a massive board wipe that takes everything out, essentially. But being able to keep those counters going and doing some pretty crazy things with them, and again, taking advantage of those charge counter type cards or different kinds of counter type cards out there that, well, yeah, makes you do that. I guess another thing you could do technically with this too is, in fact, you really could. I mean, at the very least, you could include like, what are those mirror? There's like 2 mirror that essentially have like toxic or infect. Be able to use them, be like, okay, cool, yeah, they ramp me, but also, yeah, if I hit an opponent, it's like, okay, your clock has started now, you've got a poison counter on you, and I'm just going to keep casting artifact spells, and all of a sudden, you're going to be gone. So I guess you go in that direction as well. Energy counters you go to, obviously, any kinds of counters, but yeah, I like the design concept of this one. I kind of, again, I really hope they bring modular back in. We've got constructs, we've got robots, all right? That's kind of very modular, right? Like, again, like, all right, oh, you get taken out, scrap pieces. All right, cool. And again, be able to start with one and be able to proliferate. It makes it a lot easier to function with that when you're like, okay, I really want to lean into proliferation. My commander also gives me that, hey, everything starts off with a counter on it, so you're good to go from there. And I like that Forgotten Ancient kind of like reverse in a way of moving things around onto one thing, potentially making it very Voltron-y, or again, very powerful effect from like an Astral Cornucopia. So again, I like this design, but yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on these. How close do you think I'm going to be on these? And do you, I guess, think that any of these, leaks are real? They look quite real. It seems like lately all the leaks that we have gotten have basically been real over the past like year or so. I think there was one that was like, oh, that was faked, but that one was pretty obvious. The Colossal Eldrazi or whatever it was kind of funny. That one was kind of more obvious, I think, fake. But yeah, I think that was the one. Regardless, I think that these most likely are real. It's going to be an exciting set coming up, but yeah. Tarkir Dragonstorm spoilers just around the corner. Actual spoilers, not leaks. Maybe leaks too, who knows. Anyways, Veltrix, Cognisphere Prime, ready to go. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. As always, comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.